Yu-Gi-Oh! An incredibly complex card game with tens of thousands of cards. However, what if each set was separated from the rest of the massive card pool and your choices when building a deck were extremely limited? In this series, in order to learn Yu-Gi-Oh! From the ground up, I will be embarking on an adventure through the history of the card game with Jeexx. In each episode, we will have access to all the cards in a select product, and using only the cards in that product, both of us will build a deck before playing a best of 3 match to determine the winner of the episode. We will move in a chronological order in the series, and with each new episode we will forget the cards of the past in order to experience something brand new. We hope you enjoyed this adventure through Yu-Gi-Oh! And its evolution with us. Welcome to the historic Yu-Gi-Oh! Learning journey. Legendary Decks 2 was released in October of 2016 and is the second installment in the Legendary Deck series. It consisted of 3 decks and support for these decks, those being Yugi's Exodia and Dark Magician, Kaiba's Blue Eyes White Dragon, and Joey's Red Eyes Black Dragon Gemini. While consisting mostly of reprints, the set also introduced new support for the likes of Exodia in the Legendary Exodia Incarnate and Obliterate, as well as some for Dark Magician as well, Dark Burning Magic and Eternal Soul for example. Guys and gals, welcome back to Historic Yu-Gi-Oh! Learning Journey, and this time we are back with Legendary Decks 2. I don't know why it's that way, like I was welcoming you as if the intro didn't do that already. That was weird. But yeah, here's what we're playing today in Legendary Decks 2, and the loser of today gets to pick next time for the Structure Deck episode, being Yugi versus Kaiba. So basically the loser plays Kaiba. Because I don't think either of those decks is too interesting, but Kaiba has ABC Dragon Buster, which alone is better. That plus Union Carrier is better than the entirety of the Yugi deck, so yeah. But that is going to be next week. This time we are worrying about Legendary Decks 2, and we are back on Blue Eyes. Back on Blue Eyes. I was thinking of playing Red Eyes Black Dragon as well, but when I was like looking forward, I think like there's gonna be pretty much sooner a time for when I play Red Eyes rather than Blue Eyes, and I think like this very pure iteration of Pure Eyes. I'm stumbling across my words a lot today. I'm sorry. Blue Eyes and stuff like Silver Dragon and probably like definitely Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Like I don't think we'll really see these in the near future. And the set also happened to have First of the Dragons, which is really good for the deck. So decided to play Blue Eyes. We obviously are familiar with almost all of these cards already, if actually I think all of them. So this shouldn't be too bad. But let's take a look at see what we are working with. We have first 3 Blue Eyes, 3 Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon to be able to special summon it just by relieving a Blue Eyes in our hand, and then also it gets us a monster pop. And then we have Dragon Spirit of White, which on normal special summon banishes a spell trap your opponent controls, and it's also treated as normal monster in the hand or graveyard, so this can also be used to summon out First of the Dragons alongside a regular Blue Eyes, which is nice. 3 Sage Blue Eyes Blues, a normal summon gets us a light level 1 tuner, except another copy of its same name, but we're more worried about the second effect. So discard this, target an effect monster you control, send it to the grave, and if you do, spell summon Blue Eyes monster from your deck. Most likely what we want to be doing with this is normally Maiden and targeting Maiden, because when a card or effect is activated that targets Maiden, as a quick effect you can spell summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand, deck, or graveyard. So basically pitching this and having Maiden on the board, this just gives us a Blue Eyes monster from our deck and a Blue Eyes White Dragon from our usually deck. So immediately like gets us 2 Blue Eyes on the board, which is really neat. The other effect of Maiden is when it's targeted for an attack, you negate the attack, change the battle position of Maiden, and spell summon Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand, deck, or graveyard. These will just give us really good access to Blue Eyes. Then we have a single copy of Master. On normal summon, you can target a light tuner in your graveyard, that's level 1, and add it to your hand. And then when Master is in your graveyard, you can shuffle this in the deck, target an effect monster you control, send to the graveyard, and summon a Blue Eyes monster from your graveyard, other than the monster you just sent. It's useful, but would rather have this later, so only playing 1 copy. And then we have 3 White Stone of Ancients. During the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can spell summon a Blue Eyes monster from your deck. And then this can be banished from your graveyard to target a Blue Eyes monster in your graveyard and add it back to your hand. Unfortunately, it'll say Blue Eyes monster, so it can't get back our tuners, but it's still pretty good to be able to recycle something like Alternative White Dragon, or if we're stuck with maybe a couple alternatives in our hand, then at that point we want Blue Eyes rather in our hand than in the grave. A single copy of Whitestone Legend being sent to the graveyard means that we get a Blue Eyes White Dragon from our deck to our hand. It's fine. And then for the spells, we are playing quite a few. Monster Reincarnation is here to give us access to Monster Reborn. It's still fine. Gets monsters from our grave to our hand. This can be a way for us to get the tuners back to our hand, which is neat. And discarding a Blue Eyes in the grave, usually a good thing. But it's mostly here to give us Monster Reborn, and I'm probably going to side out of it for games 2 and 3. But the duality is fine. Like, our first turn does preferably entail special summoning, but if we are stuck with a bad hand, like, then Pot of Duality can help us get us out of that. And something like Normal Maiden and maybe Set from Back Row is still a fine play. But another card that's mostly here to just give us access to Pot of Greed, and most likely something that I will be siding out of. 3, Foolish Burial to send stuff like Dragon Spirit of White or Blue Eyes White Dragon to the grave to use them, or just to immediately get effects of one of the white stones. 3, Polymerization, because Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon is a crazy thing if we can get it out. Twin Burst doesn't need to be summoned by using Poly, so we can just summon it with 2 Blue Eyes. But first of the dragons is a actually really good card, where it takes 2 normal monsters and must be spell summoned, fusion summoned, and can be spell summoned by other ways. You can only control one of them, and it cannot be destroyed by battle except by battle with a normal monster, and is unaffected by other monsters' effects. So basically, unless you're removing this thing with a with a spell trap effect, or you're beating over it with literally Blue Eyes White Dragon, like, you're not getting rid of this. So First of the Dragon is actually a really good thing if we can get to it. Then a triple Melody of Awakening Dragon. By discarding 1, we can add up to Dragon Monster with the 3,000 or more attack and 2,500 or less defense from our deck to our hand. Obviously entails, like, we can pitch maybe one of these stones to add usually alternatives to our hand. And if we don't have Blue Eyes, then we can add a Blue Eyes and an alternative. But we can also add 2 of the same name. It doesn't have limitation. It's an incredibly good card. I mean, there are a lot of these in the card art, you know, it's for Blue Eyes. Then trade in here, we can pitch one of our level 8s to draw 2. Very simple, very good. And finally, a single Torrential Tribute, just go, because it's pretty good. As for the side deck, like, nothing crazy here. A second copy of Torrential, 2 Mirror Force, 2 Call of the Haunted, if I feel like I want more, like, grave stuff. Rare of Thou is a spell where if you control a level 1 monster, you can add a level 1 monster from your deck to your hand. And then during the end phase of this turn, take 2,000 damage if you did not normal summon the added monster or card with the same name after activating this card. This is something I was talking about, the Sage, pitch Sage from my hand to also send Maiden. If we open Maiden but no Sage, like, Whereof Thou just gets us to Sage then. It's fine if we are struggling to find our tuners. And also helps us actually get some actual plays going in case we only open something light, like a stone. Triple Muzzle and Fight. During a main phase, you get an extra normal summon of a light tuner. And then once per turn, you can target the face of monster you control, send a normal monster from your hand or deck to graveyard. And if you do, the target monster gains attack and defense equal to the level of the monster sent by times 100, and that this can be banished to add Burst Team of Destruction. We're not playing that. Mostly we just care about the extra normal, since something like Normal Maiden, Pitch Sage, and Result Artifacts gets us 2 Blue Eyes on the field, but after that we use our normal summon, so we can't get a tuner on the board. So then if we have something like a stone, that can also then be used later on to open up an even more powerful board, like, that would be actually insane. So Mausoleum is just something that helps us get there. Might side in a couple of copies for games 2 and 3. And finally, triple MST, just in case Jeexx is playing some back row that we really need to deal with. We do also have Protector with Isa Blue here. Initially, he was in the main deck to give me access to Sylvan High Protector, the rank 8. That gives us some removal, but I decided that, like I said earlier, like, this final time probably will see, like, such a pure Blue Eyes build. So I figured, like, you know what, I'll just go pure Blue Eyes, we'll see what happens, and I'll throw him in the side if I want to play him. When normal summon, he also spell summons a level 1 light tuner from your hand, and then you can target an effect monster you control to pitch the
grave and spell summon blue-eyes monster from your hand. It's definitely the worst because like something like Master gets stuff from the grave, like Maiden Sage obviously can get them from anywhere, so Protector being limited just your hand is not great, but he's there if we want to play him. Then for the extra deck, I think for these, like I just talked about earlier when we were going over the Dark Side Dimensions, I think I played all of these, so we won't have to dwell too much on them. Silver Dragon and Spirit Dragon are level 9 synchros, so just any of our level 1 tuners with a level 8 make them. Silver Eye, Special Summon, protects our dragon monsters being from being targeted by or destroyed, sorry. Card effects, and then during our standby phase, get us a normal summon of a special summon of a normal monster in our grave. Spirit Dragon prevents basically pendulum summoning, and then when a card on effect is activated in the graveyard, you can negate the activation once per turn, and then as a quick effect, you contribute this to spell summon a light synchro dragon synchro monster from your extra deck in defense position, except a Spirit Dragon. So basically, like, you prevent pendulum stuff with this, and then you can summon out Silver Dragon. Silver Dragon gets special summoned, and it protects itself from being destroyed by the effect of Spirit Dragon. Very simple. A Twin Burst Dragon is here to give us a double swing. It's there to essentially do more damage if we get there. If we can somehow manage to get Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, it takes all 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons at the end of the damage stuff. If it's the only face-up card you control and Fusion Summon card, this Fusion Summon card attacked, you can send a Blue Eyes Fusion monster from the extra deck to the graveyard. This card can attack again in a row, and you can use this effect up to twice per turn. And then during either player's turn when a card effect attacks that targets a blue eye monster you control, you can banish it from your grave, negate the activation if you do destroy that card. That is not a once per turn. So essentially, you get this on the board, you swing 4,500, you send another copy of this to the grave, you swing another 4,500, you send another copy of this to the grave, another 4,500, and then at that point you also have 2 negations in your grave to protect it. It's a big bullshit crazy boss monster that just overkills everything. It's such a win more card, but it would be so cool if we managed to get this on the board. And then we earlier already talked about first of the dragons. Obviously, I don't think Jeexx is going to be playing Blue Eyes, and other than that, like, there isn't really a feasible normal monster that just walks over our first of the dragons. So unless he's doing something like, did Metal Foes have no, it was Ignites, right? Yeah, I don't think, like, basically if we summon this, like, Jeexx needs to have some spell trap removal to get rid of it, or else it's here to stay. But yeah, that is it. Once again, like I said, once again on Blue Eyes, I'm a big Blue Eyes fan, and I kind of like this build. It's so simple, like, you normal Maiden, you pitch Sage, you get 2 Blue Eyes on the board, then you can make a Twin Burst Dragon if you have ways to get a tuner. You can have a Blue Eyes with a Spirit Dragon on board. You can, if you have Poly, you can make first of the dragons. Like, it's simple and not like crazy plays, but it's like simple plays that are fun. Like, we have access to stuff like Trading and Melody here as well. Like, I don't know, I feel like this iteration of Blue Eyes is very simple, but like very effective, and it'll be interesting to see what Jeexx has brought, because I like, as we've established, he isn't really the biggest fan of like all the mainstream popular archetypes, and obviously this set being revolving around like Yugi, Kaiba, and Joey's decks in those like very fan favorite archetypes. It'll be interesting to see like what he shows up with. My money is on Dark Magician, and if it happens, then that's also obviously nice, because Dark Magician and Blue Eyes in the first Legendary Decks episode that we're doing would be pretty neat. But we'll just have to wait and see. Thank you for listening to my deck breakdown, and afterwards, enjoy Jeexx's, and then after that, we will see you in the dueling zone.
Okay, so we have the Legendary Decks 2, which contains a deck for Joey, a deck for Kaiba, and a deck for Yugi, all from around the time that they played in Battle City or after that. And as you can probably tell, we're playing technically none of those. We're not playing a deck that Joey plays, we're not playing a deck that Kaiba plays, we're technically playing something that Yugi plays, but I would argue that this is closer to what that one where Hunter plays in Battle City. But yeah, we're playing Exodia. We're playing the Forbidden One more specifically as a concept rather than just Exodia as a concept. We have Blast Magician in here as a level 4 filler card, mostly because it has an ability to store spell counters on it. It also has the ability to pop spell traps, if I remember correctly. Your number of spell counters on this. No. It can pop monsters, actually, I forgot. Cyberjar for casino gameplay, because we want to hit, like, we want to essentially draw as many cards out of our deck as possible while filling our board and also dealing with our opponent's board. And this is going to be happening in damage calculation. Well, not damage calculation. After damage calculation, it's going to be pretty strong for that. We have Exodia, the Forbidden One. Obviously, we're playing Exodia as like a whole. We have a game plan for actually winning with Exodia too. We're playing King of the Swamp for searching out Polymerization, which I have one copy of. Yeah, Fusion Substitute, yeah. And I have King of the Swamp in here also for stuff like, let's say Weebfox is playing Red Dragon, Red Ice, Black Dragon, for example. I can use... No, I cannot use it as a fodder for this, I don't think. I might be mistaken. But I can use it for any of the Blue Eyes cards, essentially, and I think that's worth it, essentially. Like, I can play Summon King of the Swamp, activate Super Poly, use some of Weebfox's cards as material, and summon out a Blue Eyes Twin Burst, or an Ultimate, or if somehow, some way it comes about, maybe even fucking the Dragon Master Knight, yeah, unlikely, but still. Anywho, then we have the legendary Exodia Incarnate, which is the crux of this whole game plan. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be spell summoned from your hand by attributing one Forbidden One monster. Gains 1000 attack for each Forbidden One monster in your graveyard. Unaffected by other cards' effects. And once per turn during the end phase, you can add one Forbidden One monster from your graveyard to your hand. And when this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can reveal any number of Forbidden One monsters in your hand. And if you do, draw one card for each. So the thing about this card is that it's usually balanced around the fact that there's only 5 Forbidden One cards, right? You can only have Exodia face, Exodia left arm, Exodia left leg, Exodia right arm, Exodia right leg, right? You're gonna have those 5 usually. But because we're playing in our limited format, the limitations of the banlist don't matter right now. So I can play however many I want of these. So I'm gonna play 2 of each. So this thing can hit 10,000. And that's pretty fucking massive. And also means that it's going to be way easier for me to summon up multiples of them. Okay. That's also what Cyberjar is for, because Cyberjar is going to summon out the actual pieces. And on top of that, I'm going to be getting the incarnates into my hand. Then we have Black Garden, which is here to stall out the game and also acquire some general defense, pretty much. And then Foolish Burial to be able to dump out left legs and right legs on whatever the fuck, limbs as a whole, right? To get my incarnate to be stronger or just fill up my graveyard for other reasons. And then Fusion Substitute in here to maybe use it for fusion plays using King of the Swamp. I don't think that's very likely to happen. Like, there's also First the Dragons in here, so I can use Fusion Substitute with pieces that I have on board. So yeah, I think this can be fairly good. And also the shuffle back and draw one card effect isn't too bad. Monster Gate, again, to mill out the deck, and then also summon out stuff like Exodia itself, our right arm, King of the Swamp, Blast Magician, whatever. Monster Incarnation to get access to Monster Gate, and also have another outlet for discarding cards, and also retrieving cards like Legendary Exodia Incarnate. Then we have 1 day of peace, 1 day of peace, because it's both players draw 1 and it stalls the game. 1 for 1, discard one Exodia piece to summon another one. And that essentially allows us to have a 2k incarnate on board immediately. 1k because of turn end. But we have 3 of these in here. It's not 100 once per turn, so we can use them how many times we want. So again, works really well with all the draw power that we have in the deck, and also arguably with Cyberjar. Pot of Duality, in case we go first and we don't have anything we can do Pot of Duality, check top 3, search for something, set Cyberjar, pass. That kind of thing. 3 Pot of Greed. Super Poly, as I said, it's really good in this for dealing with both Red Eyes and Blue Eyes because of the fact that we have first the Dragons. So if I go first and I set a Super Poly, if Weebfox ever hits a situation where there's 2 Blue Eyes on board, I can get rid of both of them. And also I can make a Twin Burst or a First of the Dragons with Blue Eyes. And I can make First of the Dragons and sometimes Archfiend Black Skull Dragon with Red Eyes. But it's unlikely that I will ever hit a game state where I can actually use Super Polymerization against Red Eyes, because Red Eyes fusion sends the stuff from deck to grave rather than summoning stuff on board. Unexpected Die to summon out, again, more limbs. Just play this, summon a limb out. It essentially goes, it's a 1 for 1, but cheaper. Where off now, search for pieces in case I'm in a situation where I actually want the pieces in my hand. And I can also go for unexpected die, wear off now, and then like one for one the card that I just wear off down, and then normal summon something else. Tribute them all for incarnates, and now I have like 9k damage on board. Jar of Avarice, in case I want to, during my opponent's turn, shuffle 5 back into my deck and draw 1. For example, during combat, if I want to, during attack declaration, I can reduce the attack of like Exodia Incarnate if I ever want to be in that situation. Obliterates, which I am playing 2 of, has the effect that you can target 1 monster on the field and send 1 Forbidden 1 monster from your, or Exodia monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard. And if you do return, card, not Exodia monster, Exodia card. To the graveyard, and if you do, return that target to the hand. And if this card is sent from the spell and trap zone to the graveyard, you can target 1 Forbidden 1 monster or Exodia card in graveyard and add it to your hand. You can only use 1 Obliterate effect per turn and only once that turn. This card is probably going to be fairly good. Like, I think the ability to just dump Forbidden ones, like, again, usually would be limited by the fact that you only have 5 of them, but we have 10. Well, yeah, we have 10. This thing is going to be a lot stronger overall than usual, solely because of the fact that we have way more than we should. Then another copy of Blast Magician, another copy of Cyberjar, third copy of Exodia, King of the Swamp, which is Black Forest. I think instead of Exodia, I could probably just play an extra piece, but whatever. Forget about that. King of the Swamp, which is Black Forest, in case we want to, for example, search for incarnates more reliably, we can swap out the Cyberjars for the Witch of the Black Forest and set that, but it doesn't disrupt the opponent's game plan as much, so it's not as good. Another Black Garden for the same reason as like previously. It's going to slow down the game, it's going to disrupt my opponent, it's going to give me more defense. Foolish Burial, Monster Gate, Super Poly, Unexpected Die, Wear Off Now, and Backup Soldier. Backup Soldier is in here again because of the possibility of maybe wanting to actually win with Exodia. Alligator Sword Dragon, which I think was in here to get access to the word sword, but I didn't end up actually using it for anything, and I just kind of left it in. It was also an instant fusion target because we had instant fusion in the set. Archfiend Black Skull Dragon gives me access to a couple of keywords in here, mainly Black and Skull and Archfiend, but yeah. The big thing here is arguably, actually, I think it might have been... No. It was Black Skull Dragon. Black Skull Dragon also obviously is a red eyes target, so Super Poly, decent enough. Twin Burst Dragon gives me Twin Burst and also is a Blue Eyes target, pretty good. Again, Ultimate Dragon, Blue Eyes target, Dragon Master Knight. We get this from it being a part of the Blue Eyes archetype. First the Dragons, it's really good against any normal monster deck as a Super Poly target, and it's also fairly good in our own deck because we have normal monsters as well. Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, again, Blue Eyes target, can be used for a lot, gives us Neo and Ultimate. And then we have Downward Magician, Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon, and Slacker Magician. Slacker Magician and Downward Magician we get through Blast Magician. But yeah, that about doesn't... I think this deck is kind of fucking weird, not gonna lie. It's kind of cool that Incarnate turned out to be as strong as it did in playtesting. And I'm kind of excited to see how these games go. Anyhow, good luck with the games.
Ladies and lads, welcome back to the History Yu-Gi-Oh! Learning journey, this time with Legendary Decks number 2, numero dos. And what we said last time about Dimension Fusion and return from a different dimension, we're like, maybe we'll deal with them for a little bit, and then immediately after they would have been present here, decided to go ahead and actually say bye-bye to those. So they're now on the ban list, because, yeah. I feel like Fusion is too frequent of a word, and although Return is a trap card and needs a little bit more there, but might as well still get rid of it alongside its
100%.
brother, because, you know, they're crazy, and I feel like we're gonna have enough degeneracy even without those cards. So immediately go back, maybe we'll let them run rampart for one more time, and then immediately be like, you know what? I think we'd rather not, though.
Yeah. I was immediately, after while I was building my deck, I was thinking about like possible ways of actually utilizing Dimension Fusion and why I think this ban is kind of deserved at this point. Because I saw a lot of things that could devolve into, I am going to play Magical Merchant, and I'm going to play Dimensional Fissure if I can get it from something, and I'm going to banish all my monsters that go to the graveyard, but I will be able to add back to my hand any spells or traps that go to the graveyard using Magical Merchant. Now I can add a Dimension Fusion as my only spell, play it. Oh, one of my only 2 spells, and then play it and have a billion banished monsters that have like effects when they get banished or something. I think it's this. This is like the perfect point to ban a lot of the older, more overpowered cards as we enter an era of Yu-Gi-Oh, where these cards can super easily be broken without much effort.
Yeah, I think like the biggest part there in favor of banning stuff like that is just you will easily then make your whole strategy revolve around this one thing, and it's kind of like there could be something interesting in the set, but because of like having access to this thing, I'd rather just do this thing instead, which I don't think is that interesting of a play pattern overall. So probably for the best.
Yeah.
But yeah, today we're gonna be enjoying Legendary Decks 2, and before we get actually started, how do you feel about the set, Jeexx? You're always an enthusiast when it comes to these like super generically popular archetypes, right? As we know.
Yeah. I'm really excited to be playing one of the most popular archetypes in Yu-Gi-Oh. I hear it's quite forbidden, and I'm gonna incarnate upon the field.
That's awesome. Anyway, speaking of forbidden stuff, I would like to start my turn by Heart of Greeting. Is that okay?
Yeah. Ash Blossom.
Not yet. We're closing in on that, but not quite.
Legitimate question.
Yep.
Is ashing a Pot of Greed worth it? Because when you think about
it depends. If you're playing in Mono Yu-Gi-Oh, where you have search anything that your heart ever desires, and you're thinking between like, am I ashing a pot or am I ashing the normal summon of something that searches something? I think I would rather ash the normal summon that searches you something.
Yeah, I also think it makes sense because you can only use 1 ash per turn, right? And it can even get negated. Like it's like, to be fair, the problem with letting them Pot of Greed is that they can find the answers. They can dig deeper and find answers through Ash Blossom. So I guess you can make the argument that preventing them from going +1 and trying to fetch like actual answers is better than ever allowing them to essentially play the video game, right?
Yeah. I think. Sure. Let's pitch Sage for the discard effect targeting Maiden.
Yep. We're both doing our extra decks right now.
Oh, sorry?
We're both doing our extra decks right now. Nothing has happened.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
There we go.
Let me special out a Blue Eyes. Because of the targeting. Then it'll get sent, and then I can summon out a Blue Eyes monster from my deck. And I think I will just get another Blue Eyes in circulation. Then I don't know if, I mean, it's really greedy. Yeah, sure. We will then activate Polymerization.
Okay.
Fusing Blue Eyes White Dragon and this Dragon Spirit of White in my hand to summon out. Does it matter which position? We'll go ahead and attack it. Summon out first of the dragons.
Okay.
And that will be all for my turn. Are you surprised that I decided to play Blue Eyes for this one?
I'm very surprised, actually. I did not expect this at all. Unexpected die.
That is fine. After I told you that I am playing dragons, like, what were you leaning more towards, like Red Eyes or Blue Eyes?
I was just immediately assuming you're gonna play Blue Eyes. Like, straight up. I was just like, oh, you're playing Blue Eyes. Yeah. I shall summon out
This is not. This
The
isn't fair. I'm playing against the high mind of deck builders, and you always have perfect knowledge of what I'm
don't worry,
playing.
don't worry. I specifically did not build this deck with the intention of countering anything. I simply implemented ways of dealing with normal monsters, and then I was like, well, I still have 6 slots in my fucking deck. What the fuck, like extra? What the fuck am I putting in here? And the answer was, well, Super Poly is in the set. I'm just gonna put all the fusions in here so I can just get rid of your blue eyes if they ever hit the board.
That's
And
awesome.
same with like red eyes. But with red eyes, the problem was that you don't have a generic fusion that you can actually use it for. Like you have Black Skull, but Black Skull requires an Archfiend and a red eyes. But yeah, I shall summon out the right arm of the Forbidden One on the left side of my field, but it's the right side for you. So
In attack mode too.
in attack position, then I shall activate Pot of Greed, which allows me to draw 2 cards.
Yep, that is fine. No Ash.
Then I shall activate Pot of Greed, which allows me to draw 2 cards.
I've also realized.
Then I shall activate
Pot of Greed or.
One Day of Peace, which allows me to draw 1 card. You too shall draw 1 card.
All right, and until the end of my next turn, neither of us take damage. That might be the worst draw in my entire deck.
What were you saying?
Oh yeah, I was about to say like the one thing that I'm dreading about like Ash entering the format is basically on any sort of draw or search or anything like asking like if their Ash is gonna be so annoying. So I think at that point like we'll just have to slow down our play just a little bit. So like anytime we're doing something like there'll be like a few second a pause there like okay this is where you can Ash if you want to. Because obviously, like, doing takesies, backsies after that when it's like, all right, I'm going for this, and then seeing what the other is going, and then being like, oh yeah, I actually want to Ash that is going to be some muddy waters. So
I definitely don't think it's gonna be that great of a time to start off. We're gonna have to get used to it.
yeah, so it just at the beginning, like it'll have to be like the click in your head, like, oh, okay, Ash is now a thing. So every time I do anything, I'll wait for a few seconds, and then. Yeah. That's your window to do it. If you don't do it there, then we move on. But yeah, please continue.
Activate 1 for 1, discarding from my hand a left leg of the Forbidden One to special summon out
Exodia, ain't that sick?
the right leg of the Forbidden One.
Also in attack mode.
Also in attack mode. Then
you will tribute those 2 for a blue eyes.
I will put that in defense just to be safe. And then I activate from my hand Foolish Burial to send to the graveyard Exodia, the Forbidden One.
Yep.
Then I shall sacrifice from my side of the board the right arm of the Forbidden One to summon out the legendary Exodia Incarnate.
Hell yeah.
Which gains 1,000 points of attack for each Forbidden One monster in my graveyard, and it is unaffected by other cards' effects.
Yep. And so it is a 3k beater right now.
He's huge.
He's quite big.
Then, this is quite unfortunately like where this kind of falls apart because I don't really have a good way of dealing with that guy. But let's just ignore that part. Let's just ignore.
I mean, you can destroy First of Dragons in battle with the right leg of the Forbidden One since it's a normal monster. You just need to bump it up by like 2,500.
That is true. Wait. Actually, if I can just summon this in attack, is that okay? Yeah.
Fine.
And then I attack into the First of the Dragons with my right leg of the Forbidden One, which destroys it, and I take no damage. And then I attack your Blue Eyes White Dragon with the legendary Exodia Incarnate.
Yep. And it dies because Exodia is now 4,000.
He's huge. And then I set 1 card and I pass.
Yep.
Oh, actually, I'll set this one too.
Yep, that's fine.
But yeah, I now have 4 pieces of Exodia in my graveyard.
You very much do.
Oh, during the end phase, I add 1 of them to my hand, which weakens my Exodia, unfortunately. But
oh yeah, add 1. Okay. Oh yeah, it's a mandatory one. Okay, I see. I see. Alrighty then. Chat room. Fortunately, this doesn't exactly do what I want it to do. Is there anything else?
Drawing 2 pogs is kind of pog, I'm not gonna lie.
It is pretty pog.
It's pretty pog.
Very, very pog. I would soy jack here if I could like somehow be pointing at the screen while also be doing the face when you do the second. Like, oh my god, he pogged into
You did it again!
You did it.
That's the thing! You did the place!
I can do... Is this still the best thing to do? I think it is. Alright. So I will reveal in my hand a Blue Eyes White Dragon in order to special summon out a Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon.
In response to Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon being
Torrential?
summoned, I shall activate Obliterate.
Ooh, okay.
And I will activate the effect of Obliterate, targeting Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon, to send that Forbidden 1 card from my deck to the graveyard and bounce it back to your hand.
That is fine. This goes back to my hand.
You can only be summoned once this way per turn.
It is true. It is indeed a hard once per turn. So in that case, I think... I don't know if it's worth it. I see. Yeah, honestly, I think just on that I will put my guy to defense and I will simply pass.
Yep. Stand by. Main. I would like to activate the effect of Obliterate, targeting first the dragons, to send another Forbidden card to my graveyard and bounce it to the hand. So the extra deck in this case.
Yep.
And then I would like to attack for 5,000.
Yep, nothing we can do about that.
And then M2, I would like to set 1 card, and then in face, I would like to, I have to add to my hand a left arm of the Forbidden One, and pass.
I don't think, is there anything? Is anything else summon you can just bounce back? Yeah, there's nothing we can do here. So
Okay.
Wait, okay, there we go. So I need
That took a while.
Yep, it's but yeah, Exodia is pretty scary when you can run multiples of the parts. So,
Like the fact that this card can hit like 5,000 at all is kind of crazy. So
yep, it is pretty good. But
I think this is the first time we've actually seen Exodia in ages at this point, right?
Yeah,
like
the last time I remember
episode.
was literally the first ever episode, so
Yeah.
I don't think
It's
if
wild.
we've seen it after that, I'll be honest.
I think so. I think it might have shown up in some deck in like the side deck, but that's about it.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, I need a second to do a bit of siding, so we will be right back. And we are back. So let's try that again. And no, I still think going first is the right play. Also, you're playing a clean 40 cards.
Clean 40.
I
It
like
was
it. Anyways, you've never
quite
seen
a difficult choice.
this before.
Crazy how that played.
Yes, it's
6 out of
absolutely-
40, by the way.
absolutely insane.
Actually, it's more like 3 out of 30, so still.
And once again, let's get 2 blue eyes in circulation. But this time there is no... Is there? honestly, I think, sure. Let's fire up a Monster Reborn. It doesn't matter, I'm just getting of then and immediately synchroing for a Spirit Dragon.
Yep.
And that'll be that.
Alrighty then, chat room. We go stand by main. Unexpected die.
Is this just gonna be the exact same duel again?
Summon out left arm of the Forbidden One.
Yep.
And I activate Whereof Thou to add to my hand a. Does it have to have a different name? If you do not normal summon the added monster or card with the same name after it. I'll just add to my hand the right leg of the Forbidden One.
Mm-hmm.
And then I shall cry myself to sleep.
Normal that
Normal
one overlay
summon.
them for a rank 1.
Right leg of the Forbidden One.
Yep.
And then I will overlay
Hell yeah,
Forbidden
that's
One.
what we fucking
and left arm of the
love to
Forbidden
see.
One for Slacker Magician.
Rank 1s are so fucking hype. Like, they're so
yeah.
fucking hype.
And then, it sucks. It sucks so much. I'm gonna pass.
That's fucking awesome, man.
And I take 2,000 damage.
You did.
Oh no, I did normal summon.
Because
Oh,
it's yeah. So you're good.
It was the correct leg though, right?
It was right leg, yes. So if you have another one, it doesn't matter because the name is the only thing that cares about. Actually, wait. In the end phase, I want to do this, right? Because this is I will in end phase. I will tribute this thing off to summon out a. I do appreciate that they also give this thing the destruction immunity. So I will get this and then draw standby, and we will get out another blue eyes and then go main. And once per turn, cannot be destroyed by battle. And then that's the That's
what a wall! What a wall!
It is an insanely powerful piece of interaction indeed.
To be fair, this is like the best thing I could have done last turn.
I mean, I mean, you were doing a lot in the first, in the first game. So it's for the best that you need to have a little bit, of a slower start this time around.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Very true. Very true.
Yeah, we'll just go end phase and doesn't get destroyed because of Azure Eyes on protection thingy, and then I will just pass on this.
Okay, I go standby main. I'll set one pass.
If you are setting a fucking Exodia piece, I'm gonna lose it, Mr. Krabs. Oh yeah, standby phase. Let's summon out this thing. If there's a flip that is just like flip fucking destroy everything that has ever existed, then, that is pretty funny. I guess let's foolish. And I will foolish a Stone of Ancients. And this needed to... Yeah, I'd rather that. Then let's see what this thing is. Let's swing with this blue eyes.
This set has some jars in it.
The fact that you're playing... Actually, wait, I can... Yeah, you know what?
It kills everything.
Yeah,
but you can just tag out blue Spirit Dragon here, and it doesn't kill anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I can do this still because.
Oh no, you can't.
What do you mean?
Damage step.
Oh yeah, it's a damage step. You're right. Actually.
Oh, that's fucking brutal.
If this card shows up one more time, I'm dead ass. Like I'm just putting Cyber Jar on the ban list. But yeah, everything gets popped here.
everything gets popped, and I summon 5 first, banish 5, and add everything that can't be summoned back to my hand. Summon this, there, add, and both of these come out in face down defense. And then because you're not supposed to know which is which, just fucking pretend like actually I can just banish face down and banish face down.
That works.
And then
So,
no, it doesn't, because you can't
Pog.
special summon fucking cards in face down under here.
I can look away. I'm currently.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Well, I don't know now. I looked away. So one day.
Okay.
Here, I was literally thinking like if there's something that like destroys things, it literally doesn't matter because of the effect of Spirit Dragon. But I forgot like that stuff. Actually, wait, do things get? Yeah, they do get flipped in damage step. That's so annoying.
Because it's already destroyed, like battle damage. We're in the middle of damage calculations. And
because literally, if I mean, it is a learning journey, and I literally just didn't know how the rules work. So, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I mean, that's not bad. That's not bad.
I will summon. I mean, it doesn't matter. Just this.
Cards was not a hard once per turn. I think.
So Pog, one day on Inkar, and then these go to my hand.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, this doesn't, yeah, that doesn't matter. So it sets our Swamp King in Cyber Jar.
Yep.
I can, actually, would I don't think I care about it. Honestly, just in case I get something, I think it's better to summon both of this and attack for me. I don't really care about my attack points that much. Then we will fire off a trade-in. We'll pitch the Spirit of White and draw 2. Well, not exactly what I want to see, but actually, I mean, yeah, that would have been better now when I think about it. But I know you have Incarnate anyway, so it doesn't exactly matter. Sure. End phase, activate the stone in my grave, but I am not sure because yeah, this doesn't work, so it needs to be a Spirit of White. We have no eligible targets, so nothing there, and I guess I will set these cards. All yours. I'm so mad at myself because we at least would have gotten a game 3.
Well, it's pretty self-evident that I have to do this here. Yeah. So destroy everything. I banish 5, and I summon out a right leg of the Forbidden One, and the rest go to my hand. I'll summon that in attack. Then I shall.
Well, the Foolish Fool is Fusion Substitute and.
Double check it. My hand is so big that I can't like see. 1 for 1.
1 for 1, yeah.
I would like to activate.
Oh, let me summon mine first, because
yeah.
that might change some of your things.
That's very much true. Oh.
I will summon out Dusting in face down defense, and the rest go to my hand. I would have liked to do this before, but it is fine.
Okay. And this is also for invasive attack. Foolish Burial
Mm-hmm.
to send a left arm. Foolish Burial to send a right arm. And 1 for 1 to send the left leg. To summon out the right arm. And then tribute right leg, summon legendary Exodia incarnate,
Mm-hmm.
tribute right arm, special summon legendary Exodia incarnate.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Still not that much. Pot of green.
Mm-hmm.
Draw 2. Oh. Okay. How much defense did that thing have again?
1200.
That's surprisingly big then. I'll summon out Blast Magician.
Mm-hmm.
And I will go into... For this. Is this worth going for? No, that doesn't exactly do anything yet. So I would like to go to battle.
Mm-hmm.
And attack using Blast Magician.
Yep.
Yep. And then attack for 7,000. Double checking. Oh.
Yep. And that's 14k, which is plenty enough. I'm just so mad at myself because this, I literally just had the game, but unfortunately, damage step screwed me over.
I think this is the first time we've ever actually had Cyberjar demonstrate just how annoying that effect is, like legitimately.
Yeah.
The fact that it's a summoning effect that can happen in damage step is insanely good. Because like no other effects can essentially be chained to it, which makes it far more annoying than a lot of other stuff.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And it have these things here.
Yeah. So when you summoned the 2 blue eyes, I had King of the Swamp in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
I was just fucking salivating at the thought of getting a Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Would have been.
Yeah, I can't. I'll have to check after this, but it just I'm honestly just so sick of sets being just decided by Cyberjar, so I'm just thinking of if it's like at all coming up in the future, I think this is the point where we just ban it. Because anytime it showed up, it's the only thing that matters, and I just think that's really boring.
I think for even my last week's deck had Cyberjar in it, and I didn't get to play it once. But if I had got to play it, it would have made the deck function in an entirely different way. Because the deck would have had a more fuel for the fire that it has going, essentially.
Yeah, it just what I kind of funnily enough, like what I explained at the start, being the reason for Dimension Fusion and Return from a Different Dimension being like the effects kind of making it so that nothing else matters, which is boring, and then Cyberjar happens and nothing else matters, which is very boring. And at this point, we've seen it so many times too that I just don't think it's very interesting. So honestly, I don't even feel like checking. I'm just taking the judicator and executioner route, and I'm just declaring that Cyberjar is now on the ban list, which I think is the first time when we have a card on the ban list that isn't actually banned in the TCG, which is interesting.
But the thing is, for the longest time, Cyberjar was banned.
Yeah.
And for reasons at the time, because it was a really annoying card that could essentially go super plus, or it could give you super advantage on board, or it could even completely shift the way that the match was going.
Yeah.
Because it's just kind of an annoying card.
Honestly, while I'm at it, I don't think either of us would play it anyway, but while I'm at Cyberjar is also banned. Because it's just...
I think that's...
I think both of those kind of just have the issue where they also just prolong games, and they do make it just about that card. And I don't know, I don't know. I don't think it's interesting, and I think at this point it just... honestly, the issue is just that I've seen it so many times that it kind
So
of like becomes like very samey, and
in, in
that's
these
kind of
last
an
two
issue.
sets, I like for this one especially, the main goal of Cyberjar was to be a problem solver first off, because I don't really have ways of popping the board, which can be like problematic because Exodia Incarnate can't swing over like everything. Everything isn't killable by battle. And there's also the fact that I would need obliterates. I would need to filter out my deck out of cards that I don't want to stay in there. Like that's why I have 3 foolish in here. I think it's 3 right now. Might be 2 actually. And why I have unexpected dies, why I have 1 for ones, so that I can fill my board and graveyard up with the Exodia pieces, so I can then summon an Incarnate. And Cyberjar turbos that out perfectly. It's like the perfect card for this deck. Even without Pot of Greed, I think Cyberjar with 3 copies of 1 Day of Peace with Upstart Goblins would make this deck function in a similar fashion. And that's like the main reason why it's here. Because it seemed like the perfect option for getting to the end of like what this is essentially. Because
Yep.
you know. And then we have this in here
Your favorite card.
for evident reasons. In like specific, it slows you down, it makes your board weaker, and it doesn't affect Incarnate. Important, very important.
Yep.
And that
The
means that it would be useful.
Yeah. She was here like game one, I didn't have MSTs in, and then game two, because obviously, like First of the Dragons is the only card that does anything for me in this matchup, because it's like you can't interact with Incarnate, and obviously in our format, when none of the pieces are limited, he's always
Yeah.
going to be the biggest thing on the board, like constantly. So basically the only thing there is like, okay, well, I'm sitting on a defense position first of the dragons waiting to get obliterated, and that's the only thing that then matters, and then I just lose there. So it was basically like I just didn't, like, my deck literally just didn't have any tools to deal with Incarnate, because there was nothing to be like, all right, how can I mass banish stuff from your grave, which would literally be the only thing to do anything.
Wait, was Soul in the set?
So
Yeah, Eternal Soul was in the set. You could have played like Soul Release. That could have been really rough. Like, that would even have to be the Giga Brain read.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not putting in cards to counter a maybe this guy's playing the legendary Exodia Incarnate.
Yeah, it's like the least likely thing. Like I didn't even have the plan of playing this card originally. I was going for a regular Exodia, and then I was told that this thing is out, and I decided I'm gonna pivot to this. I'm gonna make something for this, and it quite evidently worked far better than I was expecting it to.
Yeah,
I
because it
was
just
expecting
straight up
this.
counters this deck. Because I mean,
Yeah,
I'm just summoning big dudes, and if somehow
yeah,
you have stuff that's bigger than 3,000, then I can't do jack shit. The only hope at that point is, okay, pop it with alternative, but you can't even
but
do that. So
unaffected. Yeah,
shit
and then
out of luck.
even if you can swing over it, like when I was testing this deck, I never got to the point where I actually had like relatively big a relatively big graveyard. I didn't ever get more than like 2 to 3 pieces in the graveyard at once. And the fact that that came about in this was insane. Because it felt like, well, I'm never going to be able to actually survive against the blue eyes, because against blue eyes it's like, well, if I have 2 of these on board, I go minus 2,000 every turn. If I have 1 of these on board, I go lose 1,000 every turn, and odds are that I'm only going to draw like 1 or maybe 2 off of the destruction effect. But if I have 2 of them on board and 2 of them get popped, uh, +4 is pretty fucking good. Plus, like, I just draw 4, and whatever I draw, it's gonna be relevant, because this deck like had only essentially relevant cards, with
Yep.
like minor exceptions in the form of like these two, where these two don't exactly like forward my game plan at all. Fusion Substitute is in here for the very rare like scenario where I actually use it for a cost of like discard it for something, or it goes to the graveyard through something, and then I can shuffle like my Alligator Sword Dragon, my Archfiend Black Skull, Blue Eyes Twin Burst, Ultimate Dragon Master Knight, which was in here in case you happen to, for some reason, play your own Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, or I happened to get into a position where I had my own Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon and managed to use King of the Swamp with it to summon out that thing.
I'm seeing a lot more Blue Eye stuff in here than
Yeah.
Red Eyes.
The reason why the Red Eyes, like even for the Red Eyes card, it's like, oh, I literally can only summon this in one scenario if these two cards are on board. It's like nigh impossible for you to actually use Super Poly to disrupt Red Eyes.
I'm never
Especially
answering
'cause Red
any
Eyes
of your
Fusion goes to the
questions about
graveyard.
my deck again. This is it.
Bruh.
Anytime you're
Bruh.
gonna ask me what I'm playing, I'm gonna tell you no comment.
I asked this man, hey, are you playing one of the
Dragons.
two dragons in this set? And originally the idea behind that was, hey, are you playing Exodia for any godforsaken reason? That's what I was probing for. Like, I think if you go check the VOD, around the time I asked you that, I had already, like, finished building this deck. But then I realized, oh
It
fuck, I
could be.
actually don't know. I don't know if he's gonna be playing Exodia like a fucking like what moron plays Exodia in a set with Dark Magician, Red Eyes, and Blue Eyes? Like, come on, man.
Probably the same moron that's gonna be playing the Yugi 16 structure deck next week.
Wait, no.
But yeah, I mean, I'm obviously playing Kai, but both of those decks are turbo fucking boring, but at least one of them has a few good cards in them. So yeah, I'm playing the Kaiba deck.
Fucking suck it. Should have lost. Should have lost. This was the original version of the deck, and then it like over the course of like 30 minutes changed into what it is now.
Not even playing two of every Exodia piece.
Yeah, in this one I wasn't because I was like, I'm just gonna play like actual Exodia. I'm gonna aim to be able to draw cards.
By the way, it looks like such a like apart from obviously the Bamboo Sword Engine and a couple other cards like that, just looks like a fucking mid 2000 Exodia deck.
Yeah,
Well, I guess I should show.
I mean, essentially.
What? Here's what Jeexx me. Like this is a fucking 2005 ass deck, brother.
I mean, Cards of Consonance wasn't out, and I think Trading wasn't out yet, but either. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, it's
There are a
essentially
few
that. Like,
exceptions,
Pot
for
Agreed, especially, and Duality 2 is not out. But I essentially have this deck, like, as a physical deck. It's a deck that my friend made, but, like, it doesn't have Pogs, obviously. It doesn't have Magical Mallets. It has, like in trade-ins, Plasmas, Destiny draws, stuff like that. It's got a lot of stuff going on. Toon Table of Contents 3.0 with Toon Blue Eyes White Dragon, so you can search Toon Blue Eyes White Dragon to use for trading, and then hope you get like Cards of Consonance and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can just loop shit. It's pretty good. Like that deck itself can play pretty well.
Yeah.
And that was why I figured, oh, I might as well go for this. Also, original version of the Incarnate deck, 3 of each piece other than the face in the main deck.
Honestly, that's beast.
But then I just figured this is overkill. Why would I ever need 12,000?
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
it's like,
15,000,
I think
but-
2 is like the perfect ratio for Carnage. That's what you were playing, right? Yeah, two of each. Yeah.
Two of each, yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
I was only playing one Obliterate originally. I cited in one, I'm pretty sure. I might be misremembering right now. But I like contemplated on only ever playing just one copy and maybe even setting it out. But after the first game, it felt like this thing is actually doing work, which is something that I did not expect.
Mm-hmm. And First
Like,
of
this
Dragons
thing-
is pretty damn good.
No. Like, this thing almost completely walled my whole deck.
But even then, the issue there is that I'm sitting on a 2K wall with literally zero hope of getting anything that can beat over this asshole, while you're making this asshole probably bigger.
Yeah. Like, and even if I'm not making it bigger, I'm making it to a point where if you get rid of it, well, there's another one most likely, and I'll probably be actually drawing into Exodia if you don't push.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just get Exodia.
It was just a
And-
shitty matchup, and I had the game, and I threw it in game 2, but at least now I know how that works.
Yeah. It's insane that we haven't actually had an interaction like this up until now, where I think we had a similar one with, like, I was talking, oh no, was it even, were we talking about that? Because we have Maiden with the Eyes of Blue, right? Maiden with the Eyes of Blue has the whole, when you target for an attack, but you also have this is a mandatory like this has a mandatory effect for when it is like targeted essentially,
Yep.
right? You can negate the no wait. This is not the errata, is it? Let me double check
This has
because I'm
been
pretty sure
eroded. I don't
there
know
was
if
a
it's
new
been
print of
eroded.
this card that had like removed the like optional clause. Wow, this website is fucking breaking apart.
That'd be
It might just be that
weird.
the printing was
I was
wrong.
just gonna say, like, maybe you're just thinking about the new, because there's a new, essentially made it with Ice Blue, right? That's just a starter for the new Blue Eyes deck. So
Yep.
maybe that has some line of text like that.
Let's see. Maiden of White. Why did you? I clicked on Maiden of White and linked me to Maiden with Eyes. That's weird.
But hey,
No, this is
congratulations!
what?
Just through your play, like you managed to get the first like honorary ban of the series, I guess, for
I think
Cyberjar.
I think that is pretty fucking cool in its own way. Like Cyberjar is an obnoxious piece of shit card, but at the same time, the fact that the deck that got it banned is Exodia as well. There's there's something there, right? You got to give it up to Cyberjar. Okay?
I will not be giving up, and I can't wait for you to play a few more episodes of Black Card, and so that card also boils over, and I'll also ban that because I'm getting close to that.
Black
Mostly,
Garden is good.
mostly it is just the fact that like
It's from
obviously
everything.
first and foremost like we're trying to have this be fun, and those cards
Yeah.
are not fun for anybody. So
But like,
that's the
I
issue
think
there.
a large argument against like banning Black Garden is I think the fact that Black Garden can have play patterns that make it interesting, or Cyberjar has one pattern of play. I think like cards that solely rely on like doing one thing and basically disrupt everything else without having any alternatives for what they want to do is boring. So Cyberjar is boring, but Black Garden is a disruptive card that enables you to have lines of play using cards in your graveyard. That also enables you to go for synchro plays based off your opponent's plays, and your opponent can also utilize Black Garden to maybe clog your board. Like Black Garden was a card that I considered signing out for this second match because I realized, wait, if I clog my board with Black Garden, if you somehow manage to wipe everything on the next turn, I can just lose because I can't get rid of my Black Garden tokens. They're just gonna hit the board. I'm just gonna be there sad.
I think the biggest issue for me like right now is just like having seen it multiple times. 'Cause, like when you see something multiple times in a short period of time that's mildly annoying, the annoyance just builds up. And I think at this point it's just like I'm not trying to
Yeah,
deal with this shit right now. So if you want to
yeah,
avoid that, I guess it's like give it a dozen or so episode before putting it back in there. The big issue there is just the name, because it's just like there are probably 40
yeah.
pages of cards which have black in their name.
I
So
I wouldn't. I think it's 17 or 23 or some shit. It's
wouldn't
actually an
surprise me.
insane amount. Yeah, like when you consider that you also get access to stuff like Black Rose from Black is really good
Yeah.
because Black Garden has like perfect synergy with that card essentially.
I mean that I don't mind as much, because I mean obviously it's akin to the time as well where it's like if you had synchros in your deck you had one black rose anyways, because it was
Yeah,
the contingency plan from your extra deck. Kind of how the nightmares were later, where it's like you always have a unicorn and phoenix and early on Cerberus as well alongside those. So
Shark and Castle and
yeah,
I think
it's
Tornado
basically
Bird.
the
The
whole
Tornado Bird.
toolbox. Cowboy for a game, basically all
Yeah,
that.
but for game. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's that. I'm annoyed that I threw game two, but like frankly, I don't think it would have ultimately changed the outcome, because it would just the matchup was just ass. So probably I would have
Yeah.
lost anyway at the end. But there would have been a little more Yu-Gi-Oh to play. But I mean, the deck got to do what it got to do, and I think mostly it was just like I wanted to play Blue Eyes because I think the next time we're gonna be seeing this deck, I don't think I'm gonna be playing stuff like Silver Dragon or Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, because those cards aren't great. It's just like at this point it was still for Blue Eyes, like you didn't have better options really, unless
Yeah.
there was obviously, because we didn't have as much access to the generic stuff from the extra deck. So it was just literally just these 5 cards at 3 copies each for me, and that's it. So it's gonna be a little while, I think, before we see Blue Eyes for the next time, and it's gonna look a little bit different. So I want to do another hurrah with this because it's a very straightforward deck. Like you just cycle through your Blue Eyes as you go into big dumb dudes. You have a card for monster removal, and you have a card for spell drop removal, and then that's the whole thing. It's simple, it's cool, it's nice, it's
And then
neat.
in the actual game, they also have access to quite a bit of rank 8s and rank 9s that they can do. Like Silver Dragon and Spirit Dragon, and even like Verse of the Dragons enable you to go for a number of plays that can result in stuff like VFD, which is a very unfun card that I'm sure we'll never see pop up ever.
It would be funny if that was in the same set where you have shit like, what was it? It was Snow Castle or something like that, which literally just like
Cloud Castle.
Hey, Cloud Castle, yeah. So if you can just make a level 9 synchro, then you just immediately have VFD.
Surely that would never happen.
But yeah, that's one of those cards that it's luckily relatively hard in our format for still to get access to, but it'll definitely show up at some point, and we'll probably let it have one run, and then that's something that's gone, because it's essentially just a different flavor of Shockmaster, which once again, just like Shockmaster, not really interesting.
Yeah, harder to summon because of the fact that it requires a more specific set of monsters and level 9 monsters, which are fairly rare, but it's still level 9 monsters in a format where we have access to quite a number of level 9 monsters. Yep. And also level 9 monsters that can send themselves to the graveyard and can be used for disruptive plays and everything like that before you even get to EFD, which is a big deal.
Yep. But
just as a quick side note, I think this is like the strongest version of Blue Eyes in terms of the spells that we're ever gonna see.
Probably.
Like Pot of Greeds, well, Torrential not so much at this point anymore, but like the fact that you just have Pot of Greed in this set, and you also have even like Super Poly if you decided to use it for whatever reason, and I happen to be playing like Blue Eyes myself, this would be an insane, like, honestly, now that I think about it, I should have played Blue Eyes too, and we should have just had like a 2016 Worlds match, essentially.
Yeah.
That would have been cool too.
Why didn't they just play Exodia Incarnate while ignoring the limited list in the 2016 Worlds?
Yeah.
I
think Super Poly was banned at the time. 1-for-1 is limited to 1. Monster Gate is limited to 1. Foolish is limited to 1. I think Unexpected Die might have been also. One Day for Peace is also limited to 1. Literally, like every single card in this set was
wasn't
like
back
limited.
then. Like that's a relatively new limit. I think it's in the past like few years, but One Day definitely wasn't back then. Stuff like Foolish and 1-for-1 like probably was, and Super definitely was Super Poly. And
oh wait, no, never mind.
I don't remember when they banned Cyberjard though. I don't think it was banned back then yet, if I had to guess.
Their Feast has been limited for 12 years.
Oh, am I thinking? Oh wait, I think I'm thinking of the fucking smoke grenade of the thief, or what is it?
Oh yeah, that thing is banned to shit. That's the one that discards.
Yeah, it's the Infernoble Lobe kind of banned. Does it have a similar? Because it has the goblin thing. I don't know why, but for some reason, like the arch just smoke.
Upstart. Anything about that?
Smoke grenade of the thief. I think it's like more. Oh yeah, this did have the yellow hue. Okay, because for whatever reason, okay, like it's not gonna be as light, but if you have both of these like side by side, like you have the lamp in the same position here, like the color scheme is slightly different. Maybe like this me coping, but I've like this isn't the first nor the fifth time when I've like for whatever reason like mixed these two cards together, and I can't think of anything else than the like color composition in the cards, but yeah, that is what I meant. Sorry, that's my bad.
Interesting. Also, just in case it wasn't obvious, I got 1-for-1 and 1 Day of Peace from Forbidden One.
I mean, oh yeah. Also, I was thinking I had in the side deck I was thinking of playing maybe Wear Off though, just to have access to the tuners, but in the end, like I decided I didn't need it just because I have like triple melody, triple trade, and triple pot.
Yeah.
And
I think it's unlikely for you to never need it, so.
Yeah, and obviously this was from Monster Reincarnation, but I only had one of those and I sided out of it because I don't think it's worth it. I also had, I think my side deck was just, it was Wear of those, then there were some extra copies. I had a single Protector that I was thinking of playing. It could have also given me a rank 8 from, once again, the Sylvan High Protector, but I figured like I wanted this too, because like I said, like this is the time when I feel like Blue Eyes is as pure as this, and while it also happened to have first the dragon, so I wanted to play as pure a build as possible. And then it was just some Mirror Forces, another copy of Torrential, 2 Call of the Haunted, that I figured that I obviously don't need because Monster Reborn is a thing, and usually I'd rather have that. And I don't remember.
Like the only reason why you would really want to run Call the Haunted is if you want to have it be like spell speed 2.
Yeah, that's
only
literally
reason.
like if I want to go for it on your turn, which I guess is like, all right, I need something to block this big dumb idiot. But at that point, it was kind of just like, all right, if Incarnate just hits the field, then it's Jowari.
Yeah. Jowari though.
But I think that's gonna do it for us. So, like I said, next week we're going to have the Yugi 16 and Kaiba 16 face-off. Jeexx is gonna be on the Yugi deck, and I'm gonna be on the Kaiba deck. And I don't remember what we have after that, but that's a couple weeks in the future. So we'll just know then. And yeah, welcome Cyberjar and Fiberjar on the banned list. It is scary kind of to open this Pandora's box of like at this point
Banning cards.
Banning some cards, and especially now when it's like it's not even a banned card, it's literally just something that literally I find annoying and found annoying. So I'll try to not be impulsive with that stuff, but the overall like aim for everything is for things to be as fun for you and for us and interesting as possible. And I feel like repetitive play patterns of something like Cyberjar or the aforementioned like Dimension Fusion and Return from a Different Dimension are something that warrants maybe taking a look at. And especially now when we've seen Cyberjar a lot, and I don't think
it was 2 sets in a row.
Yeah, and we've seen it before that as well. And I don't think
Cross Souls last time, I think.
I don't think there's gonna be anything super interesting in the future that would be like, okay, well now it's really fucking cool. And I don't think we're gonna be missing.
Like it's gradually just gonna get worse and worse because setting it and having it pop on your opponent's turn is just gonna be infinitely less likely to happen, and it's just not worth it at that point. So
yeah.
But like I have to point out, for even the play pattern of Cyberjar, which is like filling out the graveyard and drawing new cards to your hand, you can, well, not even filling out the graveyard, but like filling out the board maybe a little. In the case of like Jar, you can always use Morphing Jar, which is harder to get because it's not Cyberjar. Obviously, Cyber is like one of the most common words for an archetype. But Morphing Jar still drives the same point of discard 5, draw 5. You get to get a new hand, you get to fill out your graveyard, you get to disrupt your opponent, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
It's still gonna like there's gonna be another card that can be used for a similar play
Jeexx
pattern.
is still gonna be playing Jar, so
I'm just saying that like I'm just saying that like the banning of Cyberjar I think is perfectly okay, and even if I wanted to have something like Cyberjar, I can still have it in the form of Morphing Jar.
But yeah, it's also because as you mentioned, like having the cyber in the name, and obviously Cyber Dragon historically being this like some big thing MOTK, and always Cyberjar being in the same set, that thing is not fun.
Yeah,
I say this as someone who enjoys Cyber Dragon. So once again, I'm pushing my own agenda here. I'm being transparent here. This is all me pushing my agenda. I get annoyed at the card, and it's my series, so I said we're banning it. And unfortunately, sometimes in life, that happens. Some asshole just decides something, and that's how the rest get a roll. But yeah, like I said, like I'll try to not abuse my power too much, and if it starts happening frequently, then I will outsource all of the blame and instead point my finger at Jeexx and ask, why did you play such annoying stuff that pushed me to the brink?
Then I will just go, the heck?
Can't wait for the History Yu-Gi-Oh! Learning journey to end on episode 126 just randomly, because I'm just so sick and tired of all the bullshit you're pulling. I just like, all right, dude, I can't take this anymore. That's the end.
It's just 2.5 years to peter out because I'm pulling out the worst fucking shit imaginable from the next 10 years. And it's becoming unbearable. Oh, I can't wait. It's gonna be so fucking glorious.
And here I thought this would be a fun way to experience Yu-Gi-Oh! And something to fondly look back on.
What do you mean? It is, isn't it? You're experiencing Yu-Gi-Oh! As it was meant to be.
I forgot the name. I'm so sorry. But as the
Kazuki
founding
Takahashi
father intended. Anyways, welcome Cyberjar and Fiberjar to the Historic Yu-Gi-Oh! Learning Journey band lists. Yippee. And also, yeah, the thing here is because obviously Soul Charge is the special case, so that's why it's here. But
Yeah.
7,
Yeah.
8 cards. Thus
By the way,
far.
this set, as I said, had soul in it. So once again, proving just how good the fucking Soul Charge ban is.
Yeah,
Imagine
there are a
this
few
set with that
cards.
shit.
Sorry, a few words that show up a bit too frequently.
Yeah.
And, Monster Reborn is pretty good. I don't think we need a juice out Monster Reborn.
No.
Every 5th episode, probably. So.
No, definitely not.
Yeah. But that's going to do it for us for today. Thank you so very much for watching as always. And we will see you next week for Structure Deck Yugi and Structure Deck Kaiba 16s. So we'll see you guys then. Thank you for watching and bye-bye.